Jim Rohn said, in your pursuit of making a profit, leave a profit. Make everybody and everything you touch better because of your involvement. And be at peace if you can monetize that. If you can't, it doesn't matter. I wish I had a buck for every time I talked about the Japanese premise of omotenashi, which is just bring value to the world without any expectation of recognition, reciprocity, revenue. That it's just now, of course, we have to be practical. We have a nut to crack. We're running a business. We're capitalists. But again, do business, do life, not one or the other. The sweet spot, the interlude between that the connectivity of the two together, never having a blind spot one way or the other, they can be in harmony. So I don't know. It's just I think the more bizarre the world becomes, this mindset becomes a massive magnet because it's an unmet need. It's something that a lot of environments are lacking, and the humanity in us craves this. So if I'm an advisor in an environment that doesn't have that philosophy, I'm lacking that. It's a void in my life. I become aware of it now by virtue of contrast. I'm like, this has served me well to this point, but this is where I want to be. It's in my best interest, my client's best interest, my team's best interest. That's to your point about why you are attracting very attractive advisors because of your philosophy. Anyway.
Well, I'm just gonna, we can put the demographic thing on the shelf for a second because I have we'll call it a very strong conviction on this topic. And this is coming from a guy when I was 26 years old, who was making 100 cold calls a day. And they were to my target demographic was financial advisors all across the US.
Mm.
And I learned really early on. We've talked about Jim Rohn, but Zig Ziglar, one of my favorite quotes from him is help enough other people get what they want and you'll get what you want. And it goes back to not being self-serving, having a long-term view. But I remember the first cold call, I get this advisor on the phone. I'm 26, have no clue, nervous, heart's beating, and I was probably hung up on within 15 seconds. Okay, well, next call. And that's really hard emotionally. But what I started to learn and realize is if I opened up a phone call with a pitch that was self serving, hey, I've got this product, sell this product, you need to know about this product, they would instantaneously tune out. By the way, that applies to financial advisors talking to their clients as well.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started to understand, hey, here's an idea, a concept that works for this top producing advisor firm in Austin, Texas. Hey, I know you're in Boston, but I think this same idea can work for you too. Would you be open to me sharing that with you? Now I'm serving them. And what I found is over time, if every time the phone rang and Brad was on the other side, they're like, I don't know who this random 20-some-year-old guy out of Kansas is, but every time he calls me, he adds value. He gets to know who I am. He asks questions to better understand my situation, figure out what's broken in my firm, what problems I have, what I need to fix, takes notes, calls back the next time, says, hey, last time we were talking, I know one of your big issues was you couldn't get enough people to show up at your seminar. I've got another advisor that had that same problem. He did this and he doubled his seminar attendance. Would you be open to me sharing that with you? Yes. So now I'm just putting deposits in the value bank over and over and over. And before long, they felt guilty. They're like, Duncan, they're like, dude, I don't do one piece of business with you at all. And you've brought more value to me in the last 6 months than the guy I do all my business with. I need to get some stuff headed your way. So just like you're saying on the conversation with that advisor, that just added value with zero expectation of getting anything in return, done consistently over time with patience, it always pays off. Always, always, always.
Well, karma is undefeated. Now,